Alright, guys, welcome to episode number 5.
Today we're going to be talking about Elon Musk buying Twitter and what this means for the future of free speech. So he bought Twitter for $44 billion. What do you think about the acquisition of Twitter by Elon Musk?
First off, I just want to put it out there. Twitter is not worth $44 billion.
Why not?
I mean, think about what you could have bought with $44 billion. Dude.
Yeah, you could have definitely bought a lot of things.
You could have bought anything other than Twitter. I mean, in a sense, like, okay, yeah, Elon Musk is the richest guy in the world, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
But bro, $44 billion for Twitter. Think about it. I mean, look. Don't get me wrong. He could make a lot of money out of this. A lot of people. Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know, man.
But all right. So he's kind of going on this thing about free speech, right? And obviously there's money to be made in Twitter, right?
Yeah.
But do you think corporations are gonna be reluctant to be putting their ads on Twitter now that he's pushing this free speech thing? Because really a lot of corporations are let's face it, right? They're kind of woke nowadays, right? So they try to push this woke agenda, right? And then the free speech agenda kind of goes completely against that, right? So do you think they're going to be more reluctant to put their ads out on Twitter, or what do you think about that?
Look, honestly, I don't think it's going to change that many things, honestly. If I'm be honest, I just think, Elon Musk is going to make more money out of Twitter, with the whole data mining, all that shit. That
What is that? What is that? Data mining?
Basically, they make money, selling, your data and shit, to ads and all that.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna make some pretty good money out of that. I think he'll get back that $44 billion pretty fucking fast. But I don't see it affecting the money he gets from it in the sense of companies being reluctant to advertise on Twitter. I think on the advertising sense of it, it's gonna remain mostly the same. Although Twitter as a whole, Twitter's fucking wild. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a Twitter. Twitter's fucking insane.
Even before Elon Musk had bought it?
Before Elon Musk had bought it, Twitter was already fucking insane.
They allow pretty much anything on there, right? OnlyFans, porn, whatever. They allow pretty much anything on there, right? It's kind of like the Wild West, right?
Twitter in general, personally, I don't use Facebook. I don't, Instagram, I have Instagram. I'm barely on it. Twitter, I'll check, follow the UFC, check some news, soccer, the Hawks, all that shit, right? And then, you get some of your news on there. The only thing that, in a sense, might be affected is the information that goes out on Twitter. In the sense of, a lot of people get their news from social media. A lot of people get information from social media. Mostly, a lot of people think, half of the shit they get from social media is true, reliable, because, 200,000 people liked it. Oh, yeah, it must be true. You know what I mean? So, I think misinformation could spread a lot faster.
But
in the sense of, more people are going to say more bullshit, or more people are just gonna say whatever to.
Okay, but to play devil's advocate here, what do you consider misinformation, and who's gonna determine what misinformation really is? Because all right, just for example, a lot of times these days, people see an opinion from somebody and they don't like that person, or they don't like the opinion, and they just label it as misinformation. So who's really gonna be the one determining what misinformation is and what it's not?
Misinformation. Misinformation is basically twisting the certain news around, trying to put your own spin on it, you could put a political spin into it, you could put a more, what I mean, like a more biased spin to it, that could sort of, make it not all the way true than what it's supposed to be. Like, you could change an article from, oh, this dude died because of a heart attack, into something, oh, he died of a heart attack because he was doing this, when that probably was not the case. Just as an example, And as I stated before, there's already a lot of misinformation in social media in general. An example I have is I'm as I've stated before, I'm really into soccer. I'm I know my soccer shit, and this super agent, you might call him. He's been really impactful in the world of soccer. He died he died a couple of days ago, right? He was just 54, and on Twitter before that they were going crazy talking about, oh, he's dead, blah blah blah, and then he goes out on Twitter and posts, oh, these people, I've gone through 2 deaths in the past few months or whatever, and I'm still here, blah blah blah. And then a couple days later he dies. You know what I mean? But in the sense of, people would be like, oh, did he really die? Did he really die? So there's that misinformation on social media as a whole. And then when that person does die or something does happen, or you know what I mean, people sometimes they're gonna be reluctant to believe, oh, did that really happen? I saw this the other day. You know what I mean? Did it just happen? Is that how it happened? So I mean, I just, that's what I believe misinformation is in general.
I mean, but alright, people always claim this thing about misinformation, right? But how much responsibility do you think lies on the person consuming information? Because you should also have some what would you call it? Critical thinking skills, and know, like, alright, just because this guy has a Bugatti, or just because this guy's a millionaire, or just because he has this amount of followers, doesn't mean whatever he's saying is actually true, right? So you should also have those critical thinking skills to, like, be able to dissect something and, like, know, is this reliable or is this not reliable? So how much do you think should the responsibility be placed on the person consuming the information?
No, look, I completely agree with you. I think, whatever you read on social media, you should just take with a grain of salt, regardless if it's a trusted news outlet or whatever posting on social media. In social media, you never know if it's actually, if you're getting your news from social media, you never know how accurate it is. So I believe in that sense, you're seeing something on social media, you should just take it with a grain of salt. After that, do your own research and see if, hey, is it really true? But when it comes down to to that, take everything with a grain of salt, I would say.
I mean, because, for example, people can say this thing about misinformation on social media, right? But then again, how many books are out there that, may say this opinion, but there's another book that may say this opinion, right? And, I think that you should be personally responsible by reading both sides and then coming to a conclusion, right? The truth is probably going to be in the middle, right?
I mean,
so I think really, like, a lot of responsibility should fall back on the person. That's just what I personally think.
Yeah, okay, but you're telling me if someone says, oh, this person died because of this, and oh, this person died because of this, another person says that, you're gonna be like, oh, what do I believe? You know what I mean? Regardless of the situation, it's not always gonna be in the middle. Just do your own research and find out what the truth actually was. But I say don't be biased in the sense of, oh, this person said this, and I trust this person, so let's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. It's just kind of like in a court of law, though. You do need both sides. You can't just have one person speaking. You do need both sides of the story. You can't just have one side of the story. So in that sense, whether it's misinformation or not, you still do need that side. Mm-hmm. That's just what I personally think.
I agree with you in that sense. I can see how that. I can see how you could say that. So why do you think, with Elon Musk, acquiring, Twitter, and, making these sort of, he made a couple promises, he spoke about a couple things. I don't remember off the top of the dome right now, but how do you think in general this affects sort of the political standpoint? You know what I mean? How do you think Elon Musk taking over Twitter affects certain political policies that are out there on free speech, or certain
well, I think President Trump got banned off Twitter like a couple years ago, right? Right before he actually left the White House, right? Mm-hmm. And as a result, he kind of started making his own social media platform. I don't think it ever came out, or I think it's still in development. I'm not sure what's going on with that, right? But that may that may lead to Trump getting back into Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And spreading his quote unquote misinformation or whatever people want to label it, right? But at the end of the day, he has his own side of the story to tell, so I think he should be able to tell his own side of the story without other people getting, crying about it or whatnot, right? Without just reporting every single little thing he tweets, right?
Mm-hmm.
He should have the freedom to, voice his opinion. And then you, as a consumer, should be responsible enough to, dissect that information and really critically think, is this true? Is this reliable or whatnot? So again, I think it all falls back on the person, whether it's politically, economically, or whatever the topic may be, right? It should all fall back on the person consuming that information. Because we do have critical thinking skills, right? At least I do. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys do too, but yeah.
Alright, so piggybacking off what you first said about Trump and his little social media thing. So he actually, this was one of the few things that people spoke about when Elon Musk acquired Twitter. They're talking, is Donald Trump gonna be back on Twitter? Oh, blah blah blah.
Damn right he is. I don't know.
After Elon Musk acquired Twitter, his Donald Trump's social media thing, his own platform actually came out. I forgot the name of it. And he had a first post. The issue with that was
it's called Truth Social. That's his social media platform.
So he had posted it. After Elon Musk acquired it, and then people are like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? And I think the reason why he was banned was because you had this sort of political figure in the sense of, he was the president for those 4 years, and then he was we spoke about the whole misinformation thing, and he was over here talking about the whole, election is rigged and all that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you would believe, or you would understand why they would sort of ban him from Twitter in the sense of,
what do you?
It's a politician, you know what I mean? If you're over here ranting, and not just any politician, you know what I mean? It was the president of the United States.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You're over here, saying, the election was rigged, blah blah blah, and if you remember, it was pretty close. It was actually,
I think it came down to like 1 or 2 percentage points.
It was pretty fucking close.
Yeah,
and after that, he just kept on going. And then they're like, alright, so like people, in the sense of, he would say, okay, the election was rigged. There's that information, because how do you rig a fucking election?
I mean that's too controversial, but
other than lobbying and all that shit that you can act, that companies can do and all that shit, you know what I mean?
Well, I think his main point of them rigging the election was
the
mail-in ballots. The mail-in ballots.
Yeah, okay.
He claimed that a lot of them were suspiciously just lost or whatever, and he claimed that a lot of his mail-in ballots weren't counted, and that Joe Biden had overestimated his mail-in ballots and whatnot, and that's really why he believed that the election was rigged.
Okay, but who counts that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, who counts that?
Yeah, who counts that? Like, in that sense, like, would it really be rigged? You know what I mean? Like it's just misinformation in general, in the sense of,
look.
I don't believe it was rigged. You know what I mean?
Okay, but that's what you don't believe.
No.
But somebody else may have a different opinion.
Yeah, no, I get that. Okay, but I'm saying, like, in general, you're the president of the United States, and you just lost the election, and you're going berserk on Twitter. You know what I mean? You're going balls to the wall. Is it
berserk though? Because if that's really what you believe, then is it really berserk, or is it just what you believe?
Saying you're not gonna go ape shit like that. You know what I mean? You just lost the fucking election.
I mean,
I'd say try again in 4 years. You know what I mean?
What are you supposed to do then? Just sit there and accept the L? But if you generally think it was rigged, you're gonna speak out, right? You're gonna say something.
All right, but look at this. I mean, I don't remember how close or how not close was the Obama one with the whole Mitt Romney thing, because that was,
but there wasn't a lot of controversy, because I believe most of the votes were like not mail-in; they were like in person, so they were automatically counted.
So the big issue with this was the mail-in ballots, basically.
That was the biggest issue.
I mean, but we were in the middle of a pandemic. What the fuck do you expect? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, but I voted in person.
That's what I'm saying. I voted in person too, and you know what I mean? Like, I just,
And another big controversy that I think he was bringing up was the fact that a lot of these mail-in ballots happen to be in Democrat states. So obviously, Democrat states are going to favor Joe Biden, and he believed that they had, overcounted his mail-in ballots.
No. I mean, in that sense, you know what I mean. If you were to compare both parties,
I'm just wondering though, like, is that really the reason to get banned off Twitter? Because
but I mean,
if that's generally how you feel, then that's
no. I get that, but I'm saying you're not going to be, the most the president of the United States, and you're not going to do all that. You know what I mean?
But where else are you supposed to reach your audience?
Yeah, but you're not going to do it on the president of the. You're not going to do it as the president of the United States. You're not going to do it on that platform. You know what I mean?
What platform are you going to do it on? That's the platform that you can probably reach most of your followers.
You do it on your own, but you're not going to do it with in the middle of the fucking election. You know what I mean? You're not going to be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. No, you speak about that, maybe a couple months after everything has settled down.
No, because a couple months after would be way too late. You
Why?
already have Joe Biden in office. And if you genuinely believe that there was foul play or that it was rigged, then you should speak on it as soon as possible. That's what he believed in. That's what he said. You have to respect it at the end of the day, right? Because if he genuinely believed that and he said it, then you have to respect it. Whether it's true or not, that's a whole different story, right? But that's just what he felt, and he said it.
I mean, at the end of the day, there was evidence that showed it was not rigged. I mean, there's still all this stuff going on between, the whole lawyer thing and all that, with the whole when he was in office, all that bullshit, right? All that stuff that's going on that really doesn't have that much to do with what we're speaking about today, but so we're not really gonna get into that. But we were talking about politics and how it would be affected, how free speech would be affected by it in the sense of Twitter, and then Elon Musk the other day actually posted a tweet with the whole far left far right thing, like where he stood. And how it's changed over time, and I think maybe it does have sort of an effect on how politics affects free speech. You know what I mean? I mean, you're not gonna just buy Twitter for $44 billion and then post something like that. You know what I mean? So, you might be onto something in the sense of politics might actually have something to do with this, and the information that spreads on Twitter.
So one of the bullet points I have here is how do you think this affects like job opportunities? Not Twitter in general, but more so just like free speech, like having the ability to voice out. How do you think this has impacted job opportunities? Like, for example, if you were to voice out your opinion on something that would be deemed controversial, and you had a controversial take on it, do you think this would kill your chance of getting this job, or what? What do you think about that?
So today, I think it does.
For sure.
Let's be honest here. The role that social media has in our lives is just much bigger than it was back then, obviously, for obvious reasons. And I think, when you're getting a job or something, they're looking into that. They'll be like, oh, okay, so he talked about this.
But do you think it should be like that? Do you think you should be able to voice out your opinion regardless?
I personally don't think it should. I understand why, in the sense of and with everything going on today and everything. I mean, I understand why. But you're gonna tell me, something. I feel like, people or in general, they bring stuff up that happened like 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I know you remember what happened with James Gunn. You know who that is?
No.
So he's a director. He's a director, right? And at the time he was a director for Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a Marvel movie or whatever. And the first one he did, made a lot of money. He was working on the second one, made a lot of money, right? Then, they found something on his Twitter from like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that, right? I really don't remember what it was. And they fired him, right? something that happened 15 or 10 years. Like I said, I do not remember, and I don't remember how controversial it was. Honestly, like I really don't. But he got fired from Disney. They were like, oh yo, what the fuck, blah blah blah. What's gonna happen to Guardians of the Galaxy 3? They didn't speak much about it after that. A couple months passed on, and they hired him on. It was a DC. They hired him. I think it was for Suicide Squad, and they hired him for that, and it had a lot of success. Then after that, he goes out and does Peacemaker, and it had a lot of success. And Marvel's like, you know what, let's bring him back or whatever. I don't remember why Marvel decided to, or Disney overall decided to bring him back. Like I do not remember the exact reason why, but they suddenly had a whole change of heart, and they were like, oh yeah, let's bring him back for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and yeah, I mean, he's producing the movie. I mean, so I don't
wait. So I'm going through his tweets right now. They got him fired, and yeah, they're pretty bad, man.
What was it?
I don't want to like touch on it too much, but it looks like he's talking about.
Oh nah.
It's like talking about like
underage
type of stuff. Yeah,
that's pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
But
yeah, there's inexcusable in my opinion.
No, yeah. Why? Can you check why they why did Marvel decide to hire him back? I mean, I honestly do not remember, but it was he got reinstated because
Oh, he was joking about the R word,
yeah.
grape, and pedophilia. So I'm not sure why they rehired him, but yeah, I guess he just put on an apology, and he was just rehired like a couple months later.
Let me take a look real quick, because that doesn't make sense to me, honestly.
So basically, they fired him for a couple of years, and then he just got rehired after he put on an apology.
Was it a fucking money move for Disney?
Most likely, yeah. Most likely. I mean, at the end of the day, they're a corporation, they're looking for money.
Let's see. I mean,
was he like the author, or what was he?
No, he was the director. He was the director. Yeah.
But he didn't have like an actual role in the movie?
No. I mean, when you're a director, you almost never have a role in the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works, but yeah.
But it says right here, the decision was made without the input from Marvel Studios president, which is Kevin Feige, and or without the Disney CEO. But they agreed with Horn. I don't know who Horn is. Oh, he's the Walt Disney Studios chief. I guess he rehired him, like he fired him. Yeah, okay, so this Alan Horn guy, the Walt Disney Studios chief, fired him because of the tweets, which makes sense or whatever. Let me see. Despite so after Horn fired him or whatever, after that they James Gunn and him met several times, and they spoke, and I guess he was just convinced by the apology that James Gunn put out, and they were like, yeah, fuck it, let's bring him back.
Yeah, so like no big deal. This man just like spoke about pedophilia for like years, or like no big deal, right? Let's just rehire him.
I mean,
like in my opinion, there's a few things that are like inexcusable, but that's just inexcusable. It's just me personally, man.
I mean,
but I mean, like at the end of the day, like we said, Disney's a corporation. They're looking to make money, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now that we could piggyback off of that, so how, in that sense of, okay, that's a good example. I don't understand why they rehired him. Money or whatever. Okay,
it has to be money.
But in a job, instances like that, I understand why jobs could look into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just inexcusable.
I get you want to be over here protecting free speech and everything, and I get.
But is that free speech though, or is that just like delusion?
What do you mean?
Is that really free speech though? Like
I just
not advocating for pedophilia, but
No, I just don't.
Or like making jokes about it. I don't think that's free speech. I think that's just
that's taking it too far.
Yeah, just taking it too far. They're certainly a line, right?
Yeah, no, that's taking it too far.
Like you shouldn't be putting threats or like speaking about pedophilia or anything like that. Like that's just taking it way too far.
Yeah, no, but I think
basically if you want to say it in person, don't say it online. That's just what I think.
I completely agree with you on that.
I think it's a good guideline to follow.
And even then, even if you're hiding behind a fucking profile picture or something, why? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
why? Why say shit like that? Yeah. I mean, people over here trying to make the world a better place. You just, you know what I mean? It's not going to fucking shit like that.
Yeah.
There's no reason to, try and start some fucking Twitter beef or something for no fucking reason. I mean, come on, man. But yeah, no. In the sense of jobs looking into that and in your social media and shit, in a sense, I understand. They want to be professional. They
don't want their company to be seen in a bad light. And all that.
Yeah. Why hire someone that tweeted about something like that, even if it was 10 years ago? I mean,
like there are just things that are like unexcusable in my opinion. Like that's just one of them, right?
No, and I mean, whatever you post online stays online, as we all know.
That's true.
I just. And people do change, but man,
that's just too far.
Some things are inexcusable.
Yeah, that's just too far. Like,
wow. I mean, what's your opinion on all of this? Because I mean, in a sense, I do believe that sometimes it can have as jobs want to claim so much, or companies want to claim so much. Looking into your social media or whatever does not make you less of a candidate for a job or whatever. We're not. I've seen companies do that in the sense of what's the word I'm looking for? In the sense of discriminate because of not social media as a whole, but because some companies, regardless of what they say, still do discriminate. And not just on social media, but just in general, as much as they want to claim, they do.
You think so?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I mean, like in what sense?
In the sense of it is
like
not only social media. For example, look at this. I know this might sound kind of stupid before I get started, but resumes. How does I believe that in some places you need experience. You know what I mean? Like. But in some places, how the fuck do I get this experience without, you know what I mean?
Internship.
Alright, but some internships still ask for a fucking resume. They expect you to have some sort of experience, and I believe we have your resume here and everything, and then they want to meet in person and see if you're a qualified candidate. I in a sense I don't get that. You saw what you had to see on my resume. I'm pretty sure, you did a whole background check. You did all this.
Well, they want to make sure that the person applying for the job is actually the same person that's going to show up in person.
Yeah, I mean...
They don't want to be catfished. You know what I mean?
In what sense? Because, I mean, let's be honest here. Not everyone does 100% or goes 100% on a job. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're fucking working at Burger King. You're not going to go 100%, are you? Yeah, okay, you got to feed your kids and everything. But are you always putting in that 100%?
Yeah, you're trying to get to that manager.
Yeah. The other day I saw something on social media where it was like, oh, like I'm getting paid, not that much. I'm getting paid like $9 an hour or something, right? And they were like, oh, how do I know like I'm not working too much, than what I'm supposed to? And they were like, oh, I believe the 70% rule is a good
What does that mean, 70% rule?
Which means like, oh, if you think it's good enough but it's not perfect, that's fine enough for work.
No, I don't really believe in that rule. I think it should be the 100% rule, because if you half-ass anything in life, you're gonna half-ass everything. That's personally what I think. For example, if you half-ass the gym, then if you quit and you don't go through with the full sets or reps that you were planning to do, then you're probably not gonna follow your diet to a T. You're probably not gonna do your homework to 100% effort. So if you half-ass anything, you're gonna half-ass everything. That's what I think. And yeah, you might be getting paid $90 an hour, right? But in the future, you're obviously gonna try to improve, right? Try to get a better job or better pay or something, right? So you should always be putting in 100% effort. That's what I think. That's kind of off topic, but yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, and in that sense, it didn't really make that much sense to me, but some people would take that shit to heart and be like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, Oh, he said I should go 70%, like, fuck it, I'm gonna start working 70% now.
Yeah, but you're always gonna go 100% no matter if your pay goes up or not, because
that's just
you're in the back of your mind. You're like, oh, I can get away with it anyways, right?
No, but it really just depends on a person's work ethic. But you're telling me you can tell about a person's work ethic off a resume? You can't.
No, you really can't. Yeah.
And in the sense of,
I mean, to an extent though, you can though, because like, how do you explain it? The education level, that's kind of to an extent it's not necessarily, but it can be like work ethic wise, right? Because
why?
If you have a PhD or a master's, you definitely work towards that. Like that's not something that you just decide. Oh, today I'm gonna get a master's. Like no, you definitely put your mind to it, and you definitely went to school for it. You probably invested some money into it. You took out a loan or something. So it's not just something that came out of the blue. It was something that you planned for.
Okay. I can see where you're heading with that. But for a job like that, that would be like working in a hospital, working and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get a fucking master's in sociology.
Of course not. But
you know what I mean? Like how does that show how does that show your work ethic? You know what I mean? A degree in something does not necessarily show your work ethic in the sense of I have these degrees, but I only have this as my work experience. What do you think about that? You know what I mean?
Again, there's a bit off topic, but if you don't have enough work experience, that's kind of up to you, really, because yeah, you might have applied for 1 or 2 jobs, and yeah, okay, maybe you got rejected, right? But why didn't you apply for 10 jobs? Why didn't you apply for 15, 20, 30? Because it's really a numbers game, right? You're gonna get rejected by a couple jobs, right? But the more you apply for, the likelihood that you increase the chance of getting a job. So same thing goes with education, right? During college, I made the mistake of just showing up to class, doing the bare minimum, whatever, getting an A maybe, or a high B. But I could have been out there, networking, going to different seminars, events, internship opportunities, or whatever, right? So that's where the work ethic comes in, because there's different ways of doing things, right? And I feel like most people they just do the bare minimum, But if you're actually showing work ethic, then you're not gonna stay at a job for too long, or you're always gonna be looking for something better, So yeah. But what bullet point do we have here next? How free speech is being threatened by cancel culture.
Oh, so yeah, let's get into that.
So Joe Rogan was a big topic, right? And he did say the N-word, which it's messed up, right? He doesn't have the pass. But do you think that his whole life should just be destroyed? Like his whole livelihood should be destroyed. He shouldn't have a job at the UFC. He shouldn't have a podcast anymore. He shouldn't have he shouldn't be able to like participate in comedy anymore. Do you think that his whole life should just be like completely ruined for that? Because that's essentially what they were trying to do, right?
I mean, I understand. I understand like what they're getting at. I mean, and then for example, I know you remember when the whole controversy happened or whatever. It was there was a UFC press conference or whatever, and Adesanya said, oh yeah, we back you, Joe Rogan, blah blah blah. I don't know, man. I get why, for example, cancel culture, affects job opportunities, because, for example, as we stated before, as we talked about before, you saw the whole James Gunn tweets, and I completely understand why that would stop you from getting a job. I do.
But then again, I want to make the point that I feel like cancel culture would affect like the common man, like me or you, more than it would affect somebody like Joe Rogan, right? Because he's established. Whether Spotify would fire him or not, he's still gonna make his own podcast. He's still gonna be doing things independently, or he might even get a bigger contract with another company. So it doesn't really affect them as much as it would affect somebody like me or you. Because if me or you were to, be put like on a cancel list or whatever, we'd be done essentially, right? We'd be 100% done.
Do me a favor, because I do not remember right now.
Yeah.
But now that you brought that up, look up what Joe Rogan did after that situation. Because I'm pretty sure, because I remember the shit clearly. Because I
don't think he apologized. He didn't apologize.
He didn't.
He didn't apologize.
I feel like I saw something. That said that he apologized or something. I don't know.
I don't think he apologized. I think he just kind of like let it go by.
Oh, did he? Oh
I
my.
believe so.
But yeah, I remember. So over here, there was people over here on Spotify. Talking about Spotify artists talking about, oh, if you stand with Joe Rogan, I'm gonna have to remove my music off of Spotify. Oh, no.
I'll take that back. He did apologize for the use of the N-word.
Okay.
Yeah, he did apologize.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But before that, before he even apologized and everything, a lot of artists, people, you've never even heard of, because, frankly, I don't listen to country music.
Oh, it was country artists?
I think it was some country artists. And one of them was like super old or something.
Yeah.
And they were like, I really do not remember like that, but I know it was someone old that I have no idea who they were, because like I said, I don't listen to country music, and I'm pretty sure it was some old person that I don't even know about.
Some country music is alright, I gotta be honest. Some of it is okay. It's not out too bad.
But look, peep game. So they were like, okay, if you stand with Joe Rogan, I'm gonna have to remove my music off of Spotify. And then on Twitter and everywhere, they were like, hey, yo, we don't even know who the fuck you are, blah, blah, fuck you ain't.
Like, you're just using Joe Rogan's name to,
Yeah, to build off of this clout.
Yeah.
And Buddy was like, fuck this, I'm taking my music off of Spotify. He took his music off of Spotify. Someone else after that follows him and is like, oh, yeah, if he got to remove his music because you're still standing with Spotify, I'm removing my music as well. And again, it happened. They were like, oh, yeah, we don't even know who you are. And that just happened, and I'm not sure if they ended up taking their music off all the way. I know that the first one did, because I remember they posted screenshots looking at the artists and everything, and their music was not there anymore. And in a sense, like I get what you're trying to do, trying to put your name out there, because yeah, you're speaking about a controversy, and they'll be like, hey, yo, who's this? But they're also like, you also want to stand behind your own beliefs, in the sense of, Spotify is still, they paid Joe Rogan big money, and you're still behind him after all the controversy he's gone through, even with the misinformation he was spreading with the whole little home COVID test he did with the horse dewormer. I mean, no, man.
Hey, but I mean, he's fine. He's healthy.
I mean, the fucking FDA. And the CDC even proved that it had no effect towards any of that. You know what I mean? What the fuck, man?
I mean, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Aaron Rodgers had also hopped on that horse dewormer.
No,
and he was 100%.
It was not a horse dewormer, bro. What he did was he got the antibodies because he was allergic to one of the.
Yeah, he did take.
No,
yeah, he
no.
did. Yes, he did. What do you know about?
No. What?
Drugs Aaron Rodgers used for COVID-19.
Bro, I remember.
C-19. We can't say the word. Or can we?
Why?
Will you to take this down?
No.
Okay. Cool.
I don't think so. What? Yeah. No. So. I remember. I mean. When there was this big drama or whatever, because he faked the whole vaccine card. He got banned for like 1 or 2 games, whereas Antonio Brown got banned for fucking 8 games or something.
Really?
Which makes no fucking sense to me. Because they were probably like, oh, okay, because Aaron Rodgers is less problematic. But what? The dude faked the fucking vaccine card to play football. Then on the press conference goes ahead and says, oh, I've been taking antibodies or whatever because
Joe Rogan told me to.
No, bro, antibodies, like actual antibodies, like he's been going to clinics and shit because...
Yeah, no, Joe Rogan has been promoting that too.
Huh?
He promoted antibodies and ivermectin.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like he just said antibodies, and he was like, because I'm allergic to one of the products in the vaccine or something, which if you are okay, that's understandable. You do whatever you got to do to get your immune response or whatever, right? But I did not know that he took ivermectin, which is fucking insane. Cause what? I mean, but then as research went on, fucking FDA and the CDC said, yeah, no, that's um. I'm sorry, did I say the fucking FDA? The fucking
No, the FDA
was it the FDA?
They did put out a statement.
Yeah, they fucking said that there's no correlation between
and
ivermectin and COVID, man. What?
CDC and FDA, I think those are two bodies that put out the statement. Yeah,
there's no correlation. So I'm like, okay, Joe Rogan got all these controversies, and they were like,
okay, but to play devil's advocate again here, so the CDC and the FDA, right? They're government-sponsored, health organizations for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the CDC is anyways. The FDA is obviously Food and Drug Administration, right?
Mm-hmm.
But seen as they're like government bodies, right? And then the government is also promoting the shot, right?
Okay.
So to play devil's advocate, and Joe Rogan is completely going against that, right? By using ivermectin, using antibodies. So what was the point that I was gonna make here? Shit, completely lost track. Do you perhaps think that that's why the government had like such a huge backlash against ivermectin and antibodies, because it's kind of going against the common method of just getting the shot to get rid of the disease, or not the disease, the infection. The virus.
Joe Rogan has a following, right? Okay. And as we spoke about earlier, social media, you can spread misinformation easily. I could say, man, I don't fucking know at the moment, right? I could say some false shit on social media.
For example, you could say, if you rub mud, you're gonna get rid of cancer. Something crazy like that, right?
Something fucking insane.
Something insane, yeah.
And then if you have that following, people will be like, hey, yo,
let me hop in that mud right quick, right?
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, okay, this dude's saying that he has 1.3 million followers. Why should I not listen to him?
Mm-hmm.
Then there you go, fucking spreading mud, trying to avoid cancer. Like what?
Okay. But again,
no. Look. Social media is one of those places, as we spoke about earlier, where you can spread misinformation, and it can easily be spread because of the following that certain people, celebrities, and other influencers have, right? So I don't think that it was because Joe Rogan, said. I mean, in the sense, I do get it, because a lot of people would be like, yeah, he's taking ivermectin, but because there are a lot of people after Joe Rogan has said, yeah, I'm taking this fucking horse dewormer to get fucking rid of COVID. And then you have people like fucking, other UFC fighters and shit talking about, or journalists asking the fucking UFC fighters about it. And then now you got this whole platform where it's like, oh, now the fucking UFC is talking about Joe Rogan and his horse dewormer. Now it goes on to the fucking football league. Now it's on a bigger platform, and people are watching this. People are listening to this. Okay. And they're going, oh, okay, they all got better after fucking taking a horse dewormer. Why should I take a fucking shot?
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think even Dana White came out and said that he had listened to Joe Rogan's advice, and he even referred to him as Dr. Joe Rogan. Do you remember that?
I mean, Dana White and Joe Rogan are fucking close. We know that. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Dr. Joe Rogan.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you elevate it into a bigger platform where more people are watching, and then it goes to even a more bigger platform like the fucking NFL. And now you got people fucking taking ivermectin over here trying to fucking fight COVID instead of fucking taking the shot what the CDC is recommending. You know what I mean?
Okay, but let me say this though.
Hold on. So now instead of trying to fucking get the whole immune response, at least 70% of the population to fucking get rid of COVID, now we got, people taking ivermectin.
Okay, but let me say this, right? To play devil's advocate again here. Yeah, so you do have a point there, right? Like, the government's saying something else, and these guys are saying something else, right? Oh man, I completely lost track. I'm not gonna lie, I completely lost track here. Wait, can you just repeat what you were saying again, so maybe we can come back to my mind?
About what? About the whole they made it into a bigger platform now. People are just going on and saying, "Oh, fuck the shot. I might as well just take this horse dewormer, and
Man, I completely lost track. I'm not gonna lie.
fuck the immune response at this point." You know what I mean? Like I just don't understand.
Oh yeah. So the point that I was gonna bring up is that again, I think this all falls back on personal responsibility and really using your critical thinking skills and knowing what to listen to, right? So like, for example, the government doesn't always have our best interest at hand. Let's be honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, as long as you pay taxes, they don't really care about you. You can get hit by a cement truck tonight, and they don't care.
Okay.
Let's be honest. At the end of the day, the sun is gonna go down. The sun is gonna go up. It's gonna be a new day, and that's it, right? So the government doesn't really care about you as long as you pay your taxes. And for that reason, many people are reluctant to trust the government, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead, they do, whether for good or for bad, they do listen to people like Joe Rogan for help, advice, and whatnot, right? But I think, again, it all falls back on personal responsibility, and you should hold yourself accountable, and you should use your critical thinking skills, and use your brain really to, like, dissect information and know what to listen to and what not to listen to. And yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people today, they kind of they either listen 100% to the government or they listen to somebody else, right? But I feel like you should take the good within, or whatever you think is good from that person, and apply that into your life. But doesn't mean you have to like fully listen to 100% of everything that they say,
Yeah.
For example, you can take like a little bit of help advice from Joe Rogan, a little bit of help advice from the government or whatever. You don't have to fully listen to whatever 100% that they say, You can kind of take half and half if you want to.
See, no, but this is what I don't understand. All right, so you'll take Joe Rogan's opinion on whatever's going on, right?
Okay.
You'll take the government's opinion, right? But then you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Now you got these two differing opinions, and you're just like, you know what I mean? So in that sense of you can't fully, I get the sense of why the government doesn't always have our best interest, all that shit, right? But I don't understand why go on social media and try to get the.
But then again, to defend Joe Rogan here, he didn't publicly say, "Oh, guys, everybody out there, go out there and get your antibodies and get your ivermectin in." He didn't say that.
No, I know.
He just said, "Oh, this was my experience with COVID. This is what I did. This is what I think helped me."
But he's basically promoting it on his platform. He
Not
has
really,
this
though,
mass following of over how many people, and he's promoting it in the sense of oh, I took this, and look at me, I'm better than ever. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta understand in that sense that he has this platform, he has this following, and he's not.
Okay, but at what point do people decide to take personal responsibility and like me personally, I agree with most of what Joe Rogan says, right? But I didn't go out there and put horse dewormer into my body or anything like that. Not that I ever think I got the virus, right? But just for example, like I listen to Joe Rogan here and there, right? But I don't follow 100% of what he says to a T. Like I'm not out there eating like heart or liver, for example. I'm not doing that.
No,
I don't buy the appetizing, right? But even if I did, I probably wouldn't be out there doing that, right? But yeah, like I said, I think it just all comes down to personal responsibility. You don't have to like 100% agree with what somebody says.
Mm-hmm.
You should still hear their opinion. You should always hear like the opposite viewpoint's opinion, but that doesn't mean you should always follow their opinion. It all comes back to personal responsibility. For example, yes, there's a McDonald's on every corner, right? But nobody's pointing a gun to your head and telling you, you know what? You're gonna eat that Big Mac tonight. Do you know what
I mean? I mean, but I'm saying like, look at the influence that social media has in general on our lives. You know what I mean? Like we spoke about this before. You know what I mean? And I believe that free speech is affected in the sense of all right, people are gonna go fucking wild or whatever. But that was Twitter before as well. You know what I mean? Twitter was already fucking crazy. So in that sense, I don't get the difference it would make. But people are still gonna be like, oh yeah, Kim Kardashian is wearing a fucking she uses Proactive. Kim Kardashian uses Proactive. Let me use Proactive. I want to get like Kim Kardashian. You know what I mean? Like it just
that all falls back to personal responsibility.
No. I get that. But people blindly follow these celebrities, these influencers, and be like, oh, yo, this person has this. I'm trying to get like them.
Okay, right? But if they're not gonna follow their celebrities, then they're gonna blindly follow the government. And where has the government gotten us? Nowhere.
No. But no. But what I'm saying is, yeah, okay, I get it. You might have role models. You might have, but just because fucking Joe Rogan advertises fucking ivermectin. You don't have to go ahead and do fucking ivermectin because Joe Rogan does it. Like, what?
Of course not.
It's just and you gotta remember, most of the people are not. When you follow someone, most of the time, that are like, that how can I explain? For example, people have these big followings with celebrities or whatever, and a lot of people will be commenting on all of Kim Kardashian's pictures and be like, and then they'll be over here photoshopping their images like fucking Kim Kardashian, and then they'll be fucking feeling insecure because oh my gosh, Kim Kardashian looks like this and I look like this. You know what I mean? Like people have this sort of obsessive mindset when it comes down to social media, and it's just like.
But those type of people, that if they're not gonna follow Kim Kardashian like that, they're gonna follow somebody else.
No, I get that.
A university, a government, whatever, they're gonna follow something else.
Yeah, no, I get that.
They're just low IQ. You can't.
But social media in general has that tendency to get people obsessed with this person, with a sort of role model, right? In general, and social media is these, celebrities, influencers, sort of platform, and then they say, I'm taking ivermectin, I'm doing this. And then, as the Joe Rogan, you see Joe Rogan as a role model, you're over here like...
You're over here like,
he's over here fucking taking ivermectin. Why am I not taking ivermectin? You know what I mean? Like it just does not make sense to me.
Okay, but...
I get the whole personal responsibility shit.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point where... to the point it gets. But yeah, I mean,
alright, but if Joe Rogan said, alright guys, everybody get on steroids, I'm not gonna listen, Like me personally, I only follow Joe Rogan for entertainment purposes mainly, but I do listen to his opinions, but with a grain of salt, Like, I do consider everything that he says, but I do take it with a grain of salt. And just because he says something doesn't mean I'm gonna go out there and, do it.
Yeah.
But... like I said, I do listen to his opinions, and maybe some of his opinions are like a bit controversial, especially his medical opinions or his nutrition opinions or whatever. But I do listen to them, and I go out there and I do my own research, and then I make my own opinion. I don't just blindly follow, which I don't think anybody should. I think people should listen to everybody's opinions, whether they're completely against your viewpoint or not, and then from there, do your own research and come up to your own conclusion. You should never follow like the government or anybody really. You should always come up with your own conclusion.
You said don't follow the government, don't follow anyone.
No, don't follow anybody. Don't follow 100% of what they say to a T. Like for example, I listen to Andrew Tate, and I listen to Andrew Tate, and I listen to a lot of guys that are in the red pill space or whatever. But not the red pill space anymore so much because I don't really agree with the right. I do see their viewpoints, but it's not conducive to a long-term relationship. And as far as Andrew Tate, I listen to him for like mindset, business tips, just pretty much it, right? But he does give some, I guess you could call it, red pill advice and whatnot. But I don't really listen to that because, like I said, it's not conducive to a long-term relationship, and it's just not what I'm trying to like pursue, right? So. Yeah, I do listen to the guy, but I'm not going to go out there and, get 10 girlfriends or start a webcam studio or anything like that, right? Because that's just not what I want to do.
Yeah, I guess, to each their own or whatever, but you see the impact that these sort of celebrities have on a platform as Twitter, you know what I mean? And, I think this, the whole free speech thing, it'll change. You know what I mean? It'll, I honestly, I wonder to what extent Twitter will change now with Elon Musk as its owner or whatever. But I really I want to see what it changes into. As the years go on, you know what I mean. Maybe we have to look back, a couple of years from now and be like, yo, Twitter was this.
Yeah, and do you want to start wrapping up the show or not yet? Like, or do you still want to like?
No, I think I think we hit on all the points we had to hit on.
Yeah,
honestly.
just one last point though. Like, I really do want to make this point, right? So, why does everything have to be quote unquote controversial? Why can't we just have an opinion? For example, why is it so controversial for a man to say, "I just want to provide for my family"? Why is that controversial? Like nowadays, really, like
why is that controversial?
What's so bad about that?
How is that controversial?
Like, well, no, because I'm saying it's controversial because, I guess the opposite viewpoint would say something along the lines of, oh, but that's patriarchal, because it's supposed to be 50-50. But what's so bad for a man to aspire to provide for his family? Like, what is so bad about that?
I don't see what's controversial about that.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna bring something like more controversial, like
no.
like.
No, that was just my example.
I just don't see many people disagreeing, or you know what I mean.
Well, just from personal experience, I've had people say, "Oh, but that's patriarchal," like that, like it should be 50-50, And yeah, that's okay. It can be 50-50, right? But I think as a man, you should still aspire to provide for family, and not like 100% provide, Or what do you think about that?
All right, let's just say it is controversial. Let's just get to your point. You know what I mean?
All right. Basically, the main question here is, why does everything have to be controversial? Why can't we just have an opinion? Maybe you have an opinion, I have an opinion. It's two completely different opinions, but at the end of the day, we get along, and boom, we get on, right?
So I honestly think, let me just be more straight up in the sense that we know, for example, politics are a big debate or whatever. Let's just say you're far left, I'm far right, for example. For the sense of this discussion, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna say what you gotta say, and I'm gonna say what I'm saying, and we're gonna go to the fucking bar and just
Why not?
drink a couple beers. Because social media as a whole, or maybe even everyone, has taken it to the sense where they extremely believe in this, or they extremely believe in that, and this is where it goes wrong. Look, you can't extremely base yourself on something.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fucking be like, it's either the way I think or, it's wrong. You know what I mean? And it's always like that. People nowadays don't have a sort of open ear, open mind where they're willing to listen to the other person and whatever opinion they may have, politics or not, it could really be anything in general. And they disagree, they'll get into the argument with the person and then be like, oh yeah, you're wrong because, I see it like this. So, it really depends on having an open mind and sort of having that open ear where you're willing to listen to the other person and their opinions. But other than that, it doesn't have to be all controversial. You know what I mean? You can have a discussion with a person, both hear your opinions out, and at the end of the day, try to find some common ground. You know what I mean? Don't take the extremes to everything. That's just, I think the reason why there is always an argument in something is because people want to take a sort of extreme measure to it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, if you don't agree with me on this, oh yeah, you're wrong.
Oh yeah, you're wrong. Let me block you from my life. Let me block you on social media. Let me just get rid of you, basically.
Let me not even fucking talk to you because
not even talk to you.
You know what I mean?
Like either you 100% subscribe to their agenda, or you can't interact with them at all.
Or you're wrong. Yeah.
You're just completely out of their life and whatnot, right?
And I think that's why the whole country, you can't speak without having that sort of debate or controversy around it, because.
But then again, I feel like you should be speaking your mind at all times, whether somebody like disagrees with it or not. You should be doing it regardless.
Yeah.
That should never affect whether you speak your mind or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because your thoughts really control your actions, right? And if somebody's suppressing your thoughts, they're telling you, oh, but you can't think like this because society says you can't think like this. Then you're gonna start acting a certain way, and that's not who you really are. That's who society tries to program you, right? Because who you really are and what society tries to program you is completely two completely different things, right? Like, for example, we reacted to a Andrew Tate video, right? And he claims that, oh yes, but if every single man in the world were true to his nature, he'd have 10, 15, whatever girlfriends, right? But society tries to tell you, oh, you should always, settle down with one woman, have a house, have a family, and just die. That's it. Pay your taxes, just die.
No, but look. Personally,
that's an extreme example, but you get the point. Yeah, society tries to program you a certain way, but naturally we're a certain way.
No, look. Andrew Tate thinks, one type of way. Society thinks as the other. We each have our own opinions and and what we believe. You know what I mean? It should not be, because society thinks this, let me follow it this way. No, I mean, if you have your own opinion on certain type of things, just do it your way. I mean, that's if someone agrees,
as long as it's not hurting nobody, I don't see the point.
Yeah, no.
I don't see where why you shouldn't do it. If it's not hurting anybody and that's truly what you believe in, you should go ahead and do that.
If someone disagrees with you, I mean, just this is where it comes back. Where if someone disagrees with you, don't fucking talk to them. You know what I mean? Like no, I mean, if you're friends with someone, I just don't see how it would really affect your friendship if you think otherwise.
If you want to have 5 wives, that's completely up to you, man. You do your thing. Like me personally, I'm okay with one, right? But that's just an example, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that I can't ever speak to you again or whatever, right? You do what you want, and that's it.
But then there are certain issues where I believe. Now there are certain,
for example, what James Gunn did, that's just inexcusable. There's a very few, but yeah, there are some.
Yeah, no, there are people that are gonna agree and be like, oh no, a good thing they hired him back or whatever. He shouldn't have been fired or whatever. But there are people that are gonna disagree and agree, and there are certain issues where I'm like, man, why, I don't know. I just feel like there are certain issues where you, it shouldn't affect you like that, honestly. But then there are other issues where I understand why you're, debating or whatever. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That one's kind of a tough one for me, honestly. It just depends on the how severe the issue is. You know what I mean?
Do you want to start wrapping things up here, or what do you think?
No, I'm trying to find an example. I mean, for example, right? The whole right now, as of late, I'm gonna get into this because I think it's something serious.
All right, get into it.
A lot of people are gonna agree or disagree, obviously, on the abortion thing.
Yeah, right. Speak your mind, man. Let them know.
I believe that the government or men in general should not have a choice on that. You know what I mean?
Shouldn't have a choice on what?
Should not have a choice on abortion.
Okay.
That should just be on the woman, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's not our body. That's not our choice.
Is this a feminist podcast?
Huh?
Is this a feminist podcast?
No. I mean, that's just what it makes most sense because, if it was the other way around, you know what I mean? Like, I believe that...
Like, if they were trying to control our private parts or whatever.
It would not make sense. You know what I mean? So if it's their body, it's their choice. That's just what I believe. You know what I mean? If it was the other way around, I believe it should be like that as well. So, and there are going to be people that disagree, but there should not be a reason why...
but for your specific opinion, though, there's no repercussions for that because society agrees with you for the most part, There's obviously a few couple people here and there that will completely disagree with what you just said, right? But for the most part, society and corporations, they do try to push whatever message you just pushed right now. So that's not really a good example, but we get what you're saying.
All right. But let's say I have my standpoint on it, you have yours, and you're totally fucking against it, for example, right?
Yeah.
That's not going to stop us from having our friendship. I believe, but in some issues, how severe or how extreme you believe a case to be is what it depends you from, deciding, I'm not going to talk to this person or whatever. You know what I mean? That's what I mean in the sense of how severe an issue is and how it affects, if it's controversial or not. You know what I mean? Like that's why people think, I can't be friends with this person because he just said that about such a controversial opinion. So In that sense, I sort of agree. But if it's something minor, you know what I mean, like shit, like an eggs or not for breakfast, you know what I mean? Why have a whole fucking debate? You know what I mean?
Yeah, why have
like it just, you know what I mean? So I feel like it just depends on the severity of the issue.
But then again, like from political issues, I don't really see how it affects my life day to day. Honestly,
What do you mean?
Under Trump or under Joe Biden, my life was relatively still the same.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, gas did go up and a couple prices did go up, right? But overall, my life has not significantly been changed in any way, shape, or form.
But think about it like
Still
this.
about the same, really.
Think about it like this. Like we're 21, right?
21, yeah.
We're still students. How do you expect it to affect us if we're not working full time, we don't have kids, we don't have our own place in the sense of we don't own a house, you know what I mean? We don't have to pay taxes like that, you know what I mean? Because we still have to pay taxes in the sense of work, because we still work, we still we might not work full time, but you know what I mean? Like there are issues that affect us from day to day, such as taxes and gas and whatever, right? But we're not being affected the same way that other more grown people are, such as or people or the day to day issues that people have to face. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like in our sort of viewpoint where we're students, you know what I mean? Where we're working, but not full time, not, you know what I mean? It doesn't directly affect us in the sense of politics are going to try to get our votes, right? In the sense of, okay, let's say you own student debt or whatever, blah blah blah, if you vote for me, I'll get rid of that. And that's how they target you.
When has that happened? They've been promising that for like
no.
50 years, I think.
Look. No, they've paid some of it. You know what I mean? And you can tell because guess who's paying for it? You know what I mean?
Taxpayers.
Taxpayers.
At the end of the day, you're gonna pay for it one way or another.
Yeah.
So no such thing as free.
So at the end of the day, everything's going up. So in a sense, it does affect you from day to day, but it doesn't affect us because we're not members of society in the sense of working full time. We're not doing anything for the country in the sense of we're not making I don't know how to explain this. You know what I mean?
We don't have a home or anything.
We're not as active in society as other people are because we're students. We're still doing our, you know what I mean? So I don't see how it would affect us that much today. Other than, the whole student loan shit that's going on. But, everyone has their opinion on that.
I mean, the main way I see it affect me is economically, right? So that's why I tend to vote for people that advocate for less taxes and stuff like that. Because, other than that, it's not really affecting me. Like, for example, if you make over a certain amount of money in the United States, most of those benefits that, a lot of politicians will promise, you don't even qualify for them anymore. After you make a certain amount of money, right? And not only that, right, but a lot of for example, they promised a lot of road improvements due to taxes and whatnot, and the roads still look pretty bad, right?
The roads are pretty.
The roads still look pretty bad. The schools still look pretty bad. Everything still looks pretty bad. So it's just all empty promises. Really.
No. But you also gotta remember, it depends on the level of government. For example, you don't expect the president of the United States to focus individually on the roads that are in fucking
that's just more like local,
Georgia, you know what I mean?
Yeah, county and city government.
Yeah, so that's more internal.
Yeah,
but I feel like we're affected obviously more by our internal sort of government, state government and all that, than the actual nation's president, which we are affected by the policies that are being made and all that shit, right? And as you can see, that's fucking up the prices pretty fucking bad, but you get my point. You know what I mean? I just don't see how it would affect us today. You know what I mean? At least us.
At least us, yeah, for sure.
That's like fucking. It would not affect a 15-year-old. Yeah, okay, they can't vote, or an 18-year-old. You know what I mean?
I mean, and even if it did affect me, like, what am I supposed to do? Hope that the whoever I voted in is gonna actually go through with their promises of trying to fix the problems that are affecting me, or the alternative could be to try to start a business or try to make some money and try to put my life that way. Because really, the only person that's gonna wake up and say, "Oh, this guy's such a great guy. Let me get a Lamborghini." Nobody's gonna say that, right? So really, it's all up to you. And no government's gonna come save you. No pastor's gonna come save you, right?
No one's gonna give you that Lamborghini. You gotta wake up in the morning and go after it yourself.
Yeah. So like, I mean, government stuff, I don't really like. I used to like be heavily involved in politics, right? Like when I was like 13 through, I want to say 13 through like 18 or so.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be following politics really closely and all that, but after a while you realize like it's not a distraction necessarily, because it is important, but there's more important ways that you can use your time to really impact your life. Because you don't have to be worried about student debt if you're making way more money than you currently are. You don't have to be worried about, oh, what's going to be the fine on a speeding ticket if you're making a certain amount of money, right? Because to you, it's just like buying a McDonald's meal, right? After you make a certain amount of money. So really, like, a lot of problems are solved by money. And that's really what I think most people should be focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for example, penalties or tickets or fines or any of that sort really only affect the common person. Think about it. Like, if Elon Musk got a speeding ticket, do you think he would really be worried about it? Of course not.
No. But think about it like this too. Look, I've been driving for how long now? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Not once have I been pulled over.
Okay.
Not once. So it really just it's in that sense sort of you're that's on you too, in the sense of how do you drive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not gonna recklessly drive. I mean, like you get what I'm trying to say though, right? Like, in a sense, yeah, okay, not all of it is on you, but a part of it is. You know what I mean?
No, I feel like everything's in your control, man.
Yeah,
absolutely everything.
I mean, sometimes like, it's just gonna be like, fuck it, let me pull this dude over. You know what I mean? It's not always in your control in that sense, but
like everything is in your control, because I didn't just one day put on like 50 pounds of weight. It happened as a result of me going out and eat and all that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's really how it happens, man. It just doesn't. You don't just wake up one day and last night you were 130 pounds. Now you wake up in the morning and you're 350 pounds. It doesn't happen like that.
I mean,
it happens gradually over time. Everything is up to you.
This is how it happened with us, though. This is how we started with the podcast. One morning we woke up and said, "Fuck it, let's start a fucking podcast."
Let's start a podcast. Boom. That same day, we got a podcast name. I believe we had like all the equipment in here
we had everything.
A couple weeks. We had everything going.
It's just dedicating yourself, basically. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, yeah, you have a choice, but.
And I don't think politics is a good waste of is a good use of your time. To be honest with you, you should really be focused on yourself, because nobody really cares about you the way you're gonna care about yourself. So
no, and think about it like this: tax season, they're not giving you money; they're just redistributing whatever you paid.
Really?
Because you paid how much in taxes? You know what I mean? You're really, they're not giving you money. The government is not here to give you money. They're here just to maybe redistribute or give you a little bit of what you already paid back.
Also, I'm not sure if
it's really what you paid, if you think about it. I mean.
Also, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the Social Security retirement age has gone up by. So the full retirement age is 66 if you were born from 1943 to 1954.
Damn.
The full retirement age increases gradually if you were born from 1955 to 1960 until it reaches 67. For anyone born 1960 or later, full retirement benefits are payable at age 67. So every single...
They changed it then.
Yeah, so basically, the retirement age is going up. So basically,
I mean,
whatever way you look at it, you're fucked.
No. Look, you can start. I mean, this is what's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
You can begin receiving your Social Security benefits at 62, but your full benefits at 67. What? Huh? How many years do you have to pay Social Security? You know what I mean? And then you get to 67, bro. You're almost fucking dead. Yeah, I get it. Medicine is evolving and everything, but yo.
Yeah, I might as well be dead. Like, if I have a Lamborghini all the way till I'm like 65, I don't even want it anymore.
That shit is
I don't even want it anymore, man.
I mean, fuck it, dude. I mean, but then think about it. All this just goes back to free speech and politics and how Elon Musk acquired Twitter. it all has a sort of it all has a sort of cycle, if you could say that. It all has sort of a a wrinkle effect. At the end of the day, we'll see how Elon Musk acquiring Twitter affects free speech and politics as a whole.
No. I think it affects everything, free speech, because, like I said, if they can control your thoughts, they can control how you act. Think about it, right? If somebody says, "Oh, this is not the correct way to act. This is not the correct way to think," you're not gonna think that way no more. After a certain amount of times that they keep telling you that, it's gonna get ingrained in your brain that what I'm doing is not correct.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas it might be correct, right? Who knows? But it's gonna get in your brain. It's gonna get ingrained in your brain so much that eventually you're gonna start acting differently. You're just gonna completely change as a person. So it does matter.
I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
But
they're basically programming you to think a certain way, to act a certain way, to look a certain way.
I feel like that is more of a
conspiracy
who you
theory?
choose to follow.
Oh, who you choose to follow?
You know what I mean? You can't, for example, I'm gonna put this out here. I'm about to put you on the spot.
All right, put me on the spot.
Earlier you say you listen a lot to that red pill shit and Tate, all that shit, right? As we already stated before, as we already knew, right?
Yeah, but a lot of those guys tend to be, completely banned from social media, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, whatever.
No, I get that.
They try to silence them, if anything.
No, I get that. But look, it does not matter if they're banned on social media or not. You still follow them. You still have that sort of, oh, this person said this, and this person said this. Why am I not thinking like this? Look at you now. You know what I mean? You fell into that whole red pill hole, and now you're climbing back up. You know what I mean? You just deep dove into it. You had that sort of thought. I don't know if you still do or not.
But, no, I don't.
But
I mean, some of the stuff is just common sense. It's not even like red pill or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just common sense. Some of the stuff, but some of the stuff is a little bit over the top. I'll admit that.
Yeah, no, but you get how how you're following, how everything just changed the way you had thought. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So it really just depends on who you follow. You can't really, in a sense, believe they're trying to change me to think this way. You know what I mean? It depends on who you follow, who you role model.
But how can you follow somebody if Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, or whatever social media platform completely bans them? You can't follow them anymore.
But you can because they have other sources of places where they have that sort of following.
No, but what I'm saying is it's not going to get the same reach as if it were on Facebook, YouTube, or Facebook.
But YouTube.
No, you get the point. If it were on Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook, it's not gonna get the same reach as if it's just on a private website.
On some weird shit, with the whole social media following is starting to look like, this shit's starting to look like a fucking cult. On some weird shit.
What do you mean?
Think about it like this. Kim Kardashian posts a fucking ad.
Yeah.
Then she'll have, if you're not wearing this, you ain't wearing shit, for example, right? For example. Everyone's gonna go out and be like, oh, Kim Kardashian is wearing this. Let me buy it. And this, it turns into that sort of following where it's weird. It's, you know what I mean? Like it depends on how extreme. It really just comes down to that. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. It's weird in that sense. But that's why I'm saying earlier. It depends on who you follow and everything and how you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that might be a little far-fetched or something. But we're going deep into a conspiracy theory here. How social media is basically a fucking cult. But
Yeah, but like I said earlier, though, if who you're following is banned from all social media platforms, they're not gonna have the same level of reach anymore, and that's really gonna affect everything because you're only gonna be hearing one side because social media only allows one side. For example, for the most part. I'm not sure if Alex Jones is active on any social media, right? But I think Alex Jones, you never heard of him? That's why you haven't heard of him. Like I said, they banned him from YouTube back in 2015 or something like that.
What did he do?
Well, I don't want to get into let's get into it. So he basically said that Sandy Hook was a conspiracy theory, which, alright, that is a little bit.
You said what was a conspiracy theory?
He claimed that Sandy Hook, the elementary school that was shot up in...
Oh, shit.
I'm not sure what year it was started, but in the early 2000s, I believe, or late 90s, he claimed that it was a conspiracy theory, which obviously it wasn't, right? But do you think just because he said that, he deserves to be banned off every single social media platform? And if he tries to create another one, he's going to automatically get banned. Do you think it's that big of an offense? Do you know what I mean? Like, why can't he just issue an apology, for example, and just be reinstated? Like, why does he have to be completely, like, just banned forever?
It just goes back to the whole free speech thing, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And think about it, right? If they can do that to him, why can't they do that to us? Because he's obviously way bigger personality than we are, right? But if they can do that to him, why can't they do it to us? So people are over here, like, you know, celebrating, oh, Trump got banned from Twitter, he got banned from this social media website or whatever, right? But if they can do it to Trump, why can't they just do it to the common folk? Think about it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they do.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure they do it to everybody.
Exactly. So nobody should really be celebrating it like it's a good thing, you know? Because if they can do it to him, they can definitely do it to you, and they can do more than that to you. Right?
I mean,
because if they can do it to a multi-billionaire, what are they going to do to you? Think about it. Right?
That makes sense, I guess.
Do you want to start wrapping things up now?
Yeah, I think...
It's been like an hour and 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think, you know, that's basically all I had to say. So, you know, I mean...
Kind of went off topic there, but...
What I want to get into on our next episode is going to be some conspiracy theories. You know, that's really fucking interesting.
For sure, let's get into it.
No, yeah, so our next episode is going to be about conspiracy theories. You know, if you guys have any other ideas or anything, you know, you want us to talk about, you know, comment down below. And, you know, if you guys have any, you know, differing opinions or maybe, you know, any comments, you know, about anything at all that we stated in this video, you know, go ahead and comment, and, you know, we could speak about that next week as well. Yeah, I know, but, you know, comment down below your thoughts. Make sure to like and subscribe, and
follow us on Instagram, and follow his YouTube channel,
and you know, like and subscribe. You know, we'll see you on next episode.
Peace.